I want to beg each and every one of you to listen, and listen to what I will be telling you guys tonight. And most importantly, share this program with your family, friends, your neighbors, and even the dead Guyanese. Because what is happening in this country is affecting all of us, regardless of our race or our political allegiance. What you're about to hear tonight, Uncle, is not fiction, not rumor, not propaganda. It is the cold, hard truth. And truth, my brothers and sisters, is the most dangerous weapon against those who want to keep us divided and powerless. So, like when you're sitting in a plane, Kevin, buckle up, open your ears, and let's dive into the madness that is unfolding right before our eyes. Uncle, Auntie, a huge steaming pot of food leaving Guyana every day, packed with our gold, our oil, timber, bauxite, and every other resources, heading straight to feed the already well-fed, fat foreign cats. What is left behind for the Guyanese people? A single spoonful. And before that spoonful even reaches us, the parasites in the PPP, PNC, and AFC sit down first, eating until their bellies full. When they're done licking their fingers and patting their fat stomachs, they scrape the leftovers into a bowl, then throwing it at us and calling that cash grants. That is Guyana's natural resources curse in a nutshell. And as long as we continue to accept this, as long as we stay silent, they will keep on feasting while you keep on begging. I don't think I have said namaste, Uncle. Namaste, Auntie. Let's begin by telling Guyana, yes, our Vice President Barajagdeo is either losing his mind or corruption has completely taken over his soul. I am struggling to decide which one fits him better, because when I look at what he's doing and saying each passing day, this has gone far beyond incompetence, efficiency, negligence, or slackness. This is plain madness, reckless disregard for the country, or a full-blown, unapologetic corruption going on. No matter which one it is, all of us are paying the price, Uncle and Auntie. Let us take his promises one by one tonight. Jagdeo promised this nation, all of us, from his own mouth, that he and his party, yes, would review and renegotiate the oil contracts and properly manage this oil business. That wasn't just talk, Uncle. It is written in the PPP 2020 manifesto. A promise made to the people of Guyana in black and white. Uncle, look, it's there. Kevin, put it up for them. Today, where is that renegotiation? Where is the proper management? Instead of fixing that thievery, Jagdeo defending that thievery. Instead of fighting for Guyana, Jagdeo fighting for ExxonMobil. And his words, yes, his words were a lie. And his actions proving it today. Yes. He told this nation, uncle, that as soon as he set foot into that office, he would set up a petroleum commission staffed with oil exports to help Guyana get the best out of our oil. First, he promised it would be in place within 6 months. When pressed again, he told us that they were moving forward vigorously to put that body in place. He even told us the Attorney General was playing his part. The Chief Parliamentary Council was playing their part. And the Energy Ministry was also playing their part. Everybody's head was together, working to install this dream team of oil exports to help Guyana. Correct, Kevin? He made Guyanese believe that our most precious resource, that oil, was going to be in safe hands, and that our wealth was going to be managed properly. Then, all of a sudden, the story changed. Jagdeo and Vikram Bharat started telling us, oh, it is not necessary to have a petroleum commission. Our own people? Yes, uncle. Some little boys and little girls in the ministry are doing a great job. You hear that, Kevin? Two men, Vikram Bharat and Bharat Jagdeo, who know very little about oil and gas, are now telling us that some kids who never even manage a foul pen are capable of handling a US $1 trillion industry. Kevin, please put up today's headline. Let the nation see. Auntie, that was the first rotten board Jagdeo used to start building Guyana House with. Now, he is nailing the second rotten board onto the house, telling us Guyana doesn't need a petroleum commission. Kevin, since 2020, he told us that one would be in place within 6 months. Today, not only has he failed to deliver on that promise, but now the man is defending his decision not to install a petroleum commission. Uncle and Auntie, is this madness, recklessness, or corruption to the max? Help me out there. You know what that man is telling us there, Uncle? You see the headline? Let him put up the headline. None of us need to see a doctor to tell us what is wrong with our brain or our heart. Because in his mind, he's both the brain doctor and the heart surgeon. Drink what he gives you. And just like Jim Jones, all of you will end up like the people who trusted Jim Jones. Uncle and Auntie, in his head, just like Jim Jones, we don't need to pray to God Almighty anymore. Pray to Him for guidance and help. He is God. And if He says Guyana doesn't need a petroleum commission with seasoned oil exports, then Guyana must not have one. That is the level of recklessness arrogance and deception we are dealing with here, uncle. If I don't open my eyes and clean the wax in your ears, we are heading down a road where Guyana will never have a good life, much less a great life from that oil. What did Jagdeo tell Guyana about putting meters at the oil pumps, uncle? You remember? The man said, oh, we are going out to tender in a few weeks to purchase our own meters. That was 4 years ago, Kevin. Yes, 4 years ago, uncle. Then, when he was pressed on that matter, his answer changed. We are working on that. Another year passed. The question came up again. Now the story is, Exxon is running a cable from their meters offshore to their headquarters at Ogle, and we may be able to monitor the oil extraction from that office. If this is not insanity, if this is not madness, then the entire Guyana is crazy, including me, uncle. Are we going to sit down like fools and watch from the thief man's office what he's showing us on his meter, Kevin, and not putting our own meters on our own oil wells? Kevin? I think, uncle, I missed some key words I mentioned here just now. What Jagdeo said. We may be able to monitor the oil extraction from Exxon's headquarters. Hear that? May be able. So, we might or might not even get to see the numbers with those words. Is this madness, Kevin? Or a man pretending to be mad? Help me there, man.
Madness.
Huh?
Pure madness.
Let me put it more simple, uncle. You own a gas station selling gas, and you not putting your own meters at the pumps. The thief man you put for run it, put his own meter, and you depending on his meter to see how much gas he's selling when the day comes.
It's madness. It's madness.
You really think, Jagdeo, that crazy to do something like that without a reason, Kevin?
No.
Thank you. Oh, uncle, the reason is where the magic is. And you don't need to go to any university to understand what is playing out here. All you need is common sense and the courage to call it what it is. A grand, organized, well-calculated robbery going on in Guyana with our oil. Thank you.
That is it.
Thank you. He boasting at every press conference. Now he promised the people, I should say, how he promised the people the gas to energy project, and now he and his party has to deliver. Wait, uncle. He promised meters at the oil pumps. He promised petroleum commission. He promised renegotiation of the oil contract. He promised ring fencing. He promised to collect our taxes from Exxon. He promised so much, he can't even keep track of his own promises. The man run out of oil excuses, uncle. He run out of lies and now running out of places to hide. Auntie, the world na got more space for his nonsense. Every time he opens his mouth, Guyanese seeing it again and again that he simply can't help himself. The man can't stop lying, can't stop twisting stories, and certainly would never stop trying to fool the Guyanese people. But you know what, Kevin? The Guyanese people waking up, and I strongly believe his time is running out on him.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes. Very much. He knows it.
At his very press conference in 2020, Uncle, Jagdeo promised this nation that he would investigate the giveaway of the Kaieteur and Kanji oil blocks. First, he said, I will investigate. When pressed further, he changed his tune, telling us he don't believe anything illegal happened with how those 2 oil blocks were handed out. Uncle, this is the same Jagdeo who was ready to investigate. But before even lifting a finger on those 2 oil blocks, he already decided nothing illegal went on. Up to this goddamn day, 4 years later, all Guyana is waiting to hear how and why our billion-dollar oil fields ended up in the hands of a few Guyanese, who then flipped it overnight to foreign companies, selling it for big money, while Guyanese people still begging to see a cent from that sale. You hear me, Kevin?
Loud and clear.
Uncle? Not even a cent. Not even a cent in taxes this country received from the sale of those 2 US billion-dollar oil fields. You hear that, brother? You understand what I'm saying? Kevin, if you sell a car, a house, a bicycle, GRA is behind you to collect property tax. I should say, profit taxes. But those 2 oil fields are not Guyana's property. Yes, Barajak, they're telling us he doesn't believe anything illegal went on with the sale of those 2 oil blocks. I really think, Kevin, is little trouble we in with these parasites? This is daylight robbery, Uncle. Organized at the highest level, being covered up with smooth and sweet words at Jagdeo's press conferences. I asked him personally if Exxon was snatching back that 2% royalty as an expense. And you know what he told me, Kevin? He has to check with his lawyers. Uncle, Auntie, that stinking 2% royalty Guyana settled for, this ex-president, now vice president in charge of that oil industry, who had that contract in his hands for 3 years, that was released by David Granger. Uncle, took up office and telling me and all of Guyana he got to ask the lawyers of ExxonMobil grabbing back the 2% royalty we getting as crumbs through expenses. Is these things for real? Is this a leader? Is this the man in charge of our livelihood, our future, our destiny? Wake up, Guyana, please. If the vice president of the country has to check with his lawyers to find out if we actually receiving our own money, then what else being hidden from us? How much more are we losing while he keeps on lying, covering up and dragging his feet? Are you see the trouble we in with these parasites parading themselves as leaders? If I think what I said so far is frightening, hear this one, Kevin. Donald Trump says he's ready to ramp up oil production in the United States. Please put up the headline. Today, Kaieteur News lead story. Please put it up. Let them see it. You know what that means, Uncle? If you got plenty bora or coconut in the market, what that does do to the prices? You know, Kevin? Yes, it drops. It falls. It reduces the commodity, Uncle. And that, my friends, is exactly what Guyana is staring at. A drop in oil prices. And that will make Jagdewan President Ali cash grants run dry for your pocket. You hear what I said, Kevin? Yes. Oil price drop. That will make a little cash grant fall out the sky. Yes, the one-off cash grant. But hear how our young president responded to what President Trump said. You want to hear? You ready for it? All right. If oil can't give us a good life, we're going to prudently, meaning, Uncle, he will carefully manage the other resources we have to ride out the shock. You hear that, brother? He will prudently manage the other resources we have to ride out the shock. You guys hear what this president just tell this nation? We gonna go back to cassava. Yes, we will go back to rice, sugar cake, and saltfish. We will go back to the gold, the bauxite, the timber, and the manganese. Yes, Uncle. That was his response to President Trump's new oil policy. So let's get this straight. After pawning off the oil, these leaders telling us we must turn back to the same things that never made us rich before. Kevin, we going back in reverse gear to go forward in life. God Almighty help Guyana quick. Uncle, if I really understand just 5% what's going on in this country, I would rush out that house I live in and refuse to go back into it until things change. And if I really know 50% of what is playing out, like Lall and a few others do, I would flip this country upside it down. Jagdeo, the PPP and the PNC, man, I would even flip them too upside it down. How can a country, uncle, borrow $5.5 billion US in the last 4, going into 5 years, then turn around and boast that we have the capacity to repay it from the oil revenue that's coming in? Kevin? Only last week, Jagdeo was beating his chest about how oil money has the capacity to repay the debts his government is gobbling up. I played what Jagdeo said last Friday night for you guys to hear. You remember, Kevin?
Yes.
2 days after that Friday. Yes, uncle. Today, Monday, President Ali singing a different tune. If the US start pumping more oil, we can start planting other crops, manage them properly so we can ride out the shocks. Ride out the shocks. Uncle, Auntie, I swear God to God Almighty, this is not leadership. This is reckless and clueless mismanagement going on in this land. Yes, with our resources. And if y'all don't wake up, the only thing that will be left to ride on is them roads built from loans. Then y'all will fall into a coma of poverty, while them and their children, if they have, will be living like kings and queens outside of Guyana. Yes, we are seeing this playbook. Yes, the African and Asian playbook. Yes, right here in Guyana today. This is just a gentle reminder. Again, in 2019, when Guyana started pumping oil, Ghana was listed as the fastest growing economy, yes, in the world from oil. Today, 2019 to today, Ghana is on its knees, stripped to its underwear, holding a begging bowl at the doors of the World Bank and the IMF. Them can't even feed their own people in Ghana. You hear that, Kevin? From the talk of the world to the doormat of the lending institutions. And where is Guyana, Kevin? We already there. We already there, Kevin. Bharat Jagdeo took our national debt from $2 billion in 2020 to $7.5 billion US this year, depending solely on oil revenue to pay back. Think about that for a moment, Kevin. From 1966 to 1920, Guyana debt was at $2 billion US dollars. And even then, we were catching behind, trying to keep abreast with the yearly payments or to pay it off, brother. Jagdeo and the PPP took over in 2020. And in just that 4 years, they increased it to 7.5 billion US, almost 4 times the debt we had in 5 decades. Yes, in 5 decades. And now, they're depending on oil money to pay it off. But here is the joke, Kevin. I shouldn't even say call it a joke. President Ali saying, we don't need to worry. If we properly manage the other resources like bura, yes, coconut, soya beans, sun, our fresh water, stone, we will be able to pay back that 7.5 billion US debt. Uncle, bora and coconut can pay back 7.5 billion debt. Like I have said many times before, Auntie, on this same radio station, we are not in trouble with these kaka. You have fit in the other word. We are already living in a full-blown disaster. Jagdeo promised in clear and plain language to renegotiate all the oil contracts. He masterminded and created a brand new oil contract, one with much better benefits for Guyana than the Exxon contract. That makes us feel he's the man for the job, Kevin. Only to be told that the benefits he wants from these oil contracts, these new oil contracts, does not apply to ExxonMobil and the Stabroek Block. You hear that? Exxon is exempted from those benefits, Uncle. You believe it? This man went and created a better contract only to exclude the only company that actually producing oil in Guyana from it. Would it not have been better if he didn't do anything at all, Kevin? I can't hear you, brother. Thank you. If the Stabroek Block, Uncle, which holds almost 90% of Guyana's oil, is locked into Jagdeo's sweetheart deal with Exxon, where we get nothing more than 2% royalty, then what is the point of his new contracts? Tell me, Uncle. Of what use is Bara Jagdeo's so-called better deal when it doesn't apply to the oil that actually matters? Hey, brother? You know, according to a friend, just this afternoon, he said this is not leadership. This is a grand illusion being sold to Guyana by Jagdeo sitting down in his nice suit weekly at his press conference. The friend told me that this afternoon. That's how he described what's going on in Guyana. Tell me, Kevin, the goose that laying the golden eggs, the Stabroek Block, Guyana must settle for 2 out of every 100 eggs and accept the gander eggs from his new contracts for the other oil blocks, where no oil is found in any one of them as yet. This is how Jagdeo tricking Guyana. You hear what I said, Kevin?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Right.
He promised us Petroleum Commission. Then when he get cornered like a rat, suddenly we don't need one. He promised us our own oil meters. Now we must accept whatever figures Exxon pelting us down with. He tricked us again with his so-called new oil contracts. Talking every week about how they will give us 10% this and 10% that. Making it sound like Guyana, about to become like Dubai, when in fact, all those benefits do not apply to Exxon contract deal. He is creating a horror movie for Guyanese, uncle. This is the deception and trickery he's unleashing on Guyana with that oil. What did he tell us about ring fencing the oil projects? He's what, uncle? Giving up the small bones today for bigger bones tomorrow? Well, uncle, Donald Trump just snatched away the bigger bone from all of us with that announcement of ramping up oil production in his country. Jagdeo. Yes, Jagdeo thought he was tricking Guyana, playing the long game, letting Exxon escape ring fencing, robbing the nation, while delaying our earnings. Yes, telling us big money will come later. Look where we end up today, uncle. Yes, the man giving up the small bone today for the bigger bone tomorrow. Big money will come tomorrow. Look where we end up today, uncle. Oil prices about to drop further. Yes. Production about to increase worldwide. And suddenly, that big bone Bharat Jagdeo promised us, yes, it's now going like gone into the wind. The man get tangled up in his own tricks. You're laughing, uncle, but this is not funny. We are already in deep trouble, people. Trouble beyond we nose tip. Bharat Jagdeo played the biggest con on the Guyanese people without ring fencing those oil projects. And now reality slappy straight in his face. But guess what, Kevin? Guess who is paying the price?
Guyanese.
Yes. Certainly not Bharat Jagdeo. Not President Ali. Not Aubrey Norton. Not Nigel Hughes. Is we. Yes. The suffering Guyanese, I should say. You. Not me. I am not suffering. Yes. You will feel the bite or the pain. Jagdeo knows, uncle, he can demand and receive full taxes from ExxonMobil on every new oil project he approves for them. You hear what I said, Kevin? Clear?
Clear.
Thank you. Bharat Jagdeo knows he can ring fence those oil projects today, which could wipe out this country's entire debt by tomorrow morning. Jagdeo knows that Exxon oil contract can be renegotiated despite all the excuses and the fictitious lines he coming up with. Jagdev knows, uncle, that a that a petroleum commission staffed with real experts, not those kids with his party puppets, could turn Guyana into Dubai overnight. Bharat Jagdev knows exactly what ExxonMobil is doing out there with without our own meters at those pumps. Jagdev knows he can hire qualified and experienced auditors to properly scrutinize and audit Exxon's bills and those contract awards, but he refuses to do so. Uncle, auntie, Bharat Jagdev ain't a stupid man. Bharat Jagdev is a trickster. He builds up false hopes, selling sweet dreams, and talks big about better contracts, all the while digging a deep hole to bury all of us hungry in a graveyard, while smiling and grinning in a nice suit. While Jagdev sitting on a throne, digging a hole to bury all of us hungry, uncle. The PNC out there, yes, out there every Tuesday, protesting over Claudette Singh, the GCOM chair in front of GCOM. Oh God. Oh God. Guyana is not just in trouble. We are in the middle of a catastrophe. We are living in a tragedy. And the names of this disaster is the PPP, PNC, and Bharat Jagdev. Uncle, I shouldn't say Jagdev. Guyana doesn't just need a change. Guyana needs divine intervention. And this is not just talk. This is coming from my heart. Because I feel it. I can see it. And deep down, I know it too. Only you, my Creator, know what I'm going through when the days comes. When our brothers and sisters going to bed hungry, uncle, I feel empty. When they are in pain, auntie, I see it. I hear it. I feel it. And when our leaders, who these people trust, believe in, look up to them for a better future, play these wicked games with the Guyanese people's lives, it tears my soul apart. Uncle, I honestly believe, and I will go to my grave with this, that the PPP and the PNC are committing treason against all of us with our resources. And none of us should sit silent and allow our future and that of our children to remain in the hands or under these people's control for, I should say, another moment, much less another 5 years. We must take action to safeguard ourselves and secure the future of our children. Jagdeo Norton and President Ali must never, ever be the decision makers of the next generation of Guyanese. Please, Uncle, no, let this don't ever happen again. Their actions since we discovered that oil have made one thing painfully clear, where their first loyalty lies. And it is not with me and you. It is clear who is controlling their hearts and directing their minds. Not me and you. The people, Uncle. It's not with me and you, the people, Uncle, who keep on electing them. Come on, people. Come on, my brothers and sisters. I don't think I want firewood to see this in the night, what you're seeing so clear in the day. If that is so, what else can I say or do? Go ahead and allow them to joke out of your eyes. Let me remind you, 3 years ago, Uncle, on Christmas Day, while most of you were home celebrating with your families, I, Lall, left my home, left my family, and came on this radio to warn Guyana about what Jagdeo and the PPP were about to do with our oil money. I came out and did a special program sounding the alarm of what they were planning to do with our little oil money. I didn't just talk on Christmas Day, Uncle. I went out with a few like-minded citizens and protested in front of Parliament against the new law the PPP were about to pass. The one that would allow them to withdraw and spend the oil money however they pleased. You hear what I said there, Kevin? Some members of the PNC joined in that protest. But what happened next? At 1 o'clock in the morning, Uncle, that same day, or I should say the next day, while Guyana, fast asleep on December 29, in December 29, 2019, that should now, sorry, 2021, the PPP passed that law. Yes, they passed that law like a thief in the night, just like that, Uncle. They give themselves the power to take out our oil money whenever they want and spend it however they feel like. Let that sink into your hearts for a moment as I sip this tea. Did you hear what I said, or you forget what I said there? Yes. They passed that law giving themselves the power, yes, to take out the oil money and spend it how they like. Uncle, when my reporter questioned Ashney Singh and asked him why this new law they passed did not specify that people should go to jail for misusing or stealing the oil money, like the other oil producing countries did in their oil laws, Kevin. Uncle, y'all know what Ashney Singh tell us? Oh, we already got laws on the books to deal with stealing. So we don't need to include that in this new oil law. Every oil country on earth, Uncle, ensures that clause for stealing or misusing the nation's oil money is placed is put into their oil law, except Guyana. You hear what I said there, Kevin? Auntie, uncle, these things sinking into your heads? A matter of fact, uncle, the law Granger had for this oil money was 50 times more beneficial to the Guyanese people. Yes, than what these chaps, yes, choose to put in Christmas time when all of you was having a good time. Yes. Yes. That was another trick, part of the con game being played out in Guyana with our oil money. And then Jagdeo, the master trickster, himself, came out to defend this new law. Yeah. Guess what he tell the nation, Kevin? Yes. This law mandates the minister to inform the public about every cent going in the oil account and coming out the oil account. And if the minister doesn't do so, he can go to jail. You hear that, Kevin? You don't hear it, man. You don't hear what I said just now. When you hear Jagdeo talking like that, you would think he got your back, right? Yes. The minister can go to jail if he doesn't tell us, meaning if he doesn't tell the public how much money is going in and how much money is coming out the account. That way he can get jail for. But the law, yes, makes no provision for the minister to go to jail for what they do with the oil money. Beat that one. Beat that one. Find me a bigger trickster than that, uncle. When you think they're looking out for you, what they're really doing is digging a deeper hole to bury all of us in. So deep that we can't see or hear what they're doing with the oil money. Auntie, you think we are blessed with oil alone? No, my brothers and sisters. We are cursed with these oil tricksters. Imagine how wicked and deceitful these chaps or these people are, Kevin. They sat down, discussed, and carefully designed a law that only requires them to tell us how much oil money is coming out and is coming out the account and going in to the account. But what they actually doing with the money, auntie, that is not our business. That is their business, their personal or family business. You know, Kevin, this new oil law reminds me of Barra Jagdeo as sitting president. He bought a program called IFMAS. You hear that? Listen to this story carefully. To install at the Ministry of Finance, which will track every single cent going in and coming out the ministry. You hear that? You know what happened, Uncle? Jagdeo government, under the same minister, Ashni Singh, installed the programs. Yes. That is, all the programs to record how the money going into the ministry. But how the money coming out the ministry, they didn't install that part of the program. I can't hear you, man. Now shake your head. Conmen? Uncle? When my reporter called the company in Canada and asked them why they didn't install, the entire program, especially the module tracking the money, how it's going out. The vice president of that company told us, Uncle, I still have the recording. I still have the recording of that conversation on tape. Oh, we manufacturers and sell these programs to countries around the world. And whatever the governments want us to install, we install. We have to work with them. They are our clients. Once we get paid and they don't want us to install any part of the programs, that's not our problem. Uncle, time is running out for me tonight. If I get into more details of this same con game, that same con game, I think we will be sitting here till midnight. However, if I can't find bigger con men and tricksters than these, I don't know. You can find it? Just in case you find one, Uncle, call me number 624-6456. And you can call me day or night. I want to know who these people, who these tricksters, that is better than these we have in this country. In all three the political camps. Auntie, let me end tonight by reminding you that a huge steaming pot of food leaving Guyana every day, packed with our oil, gold, timber, bauxite, and every other resource, heading straight, like I said earlier, to the already well-fed, fat foreign cats. What is left behind for the Guyanese people? Let me repeat, a single spoonful. And before that spoonful even reaches the Guyanese people, the parasites in the PPP, PNC and the AFC sit down first, eating until their belly is full. When they're done licking their fingers, yes, and patting their fat stomach, they scrape the leftovers into a bowl, then throwing that at us. And like I said, what I call it, Kevin? Cash grants. This is Guyana's natural resources course in a nutshell, uncle. And as long as we continue to accept this, as long as we stay silent, they will keep on feasting while you keep on begging. May God bless you all, because under these leaders, we need more than blessings to survive.